Well done, everybody. Okay, brilliant. All right, so let's have a look at the organizer type personality and what personality traits they show. All right, first thing is always be on time. You know, for a learner, punctuality is important, but when it comes to the organized type personality, their whole life is around systems and methods and processes, and being on time is an absolute no-brainer. If you are 1 minute late with an organizer, you can forget about closing that sale. So make sure that you're always on time. They like having a detailed plan to follow. So in other words, make sure that when you are delivering a proposal or you are engaging with an organizer, that you are very certain to show them exactly the process, the system, the way, method that you're actually going to follow, what plan. And the more detailed the plan can actually be, the happier the organizer will actually be. Next, they're very disciplined and value predictability. Now think about that. When you're delivering a proposal, what you're wanting to do is you need to think about these people are exceptionally disciplined. They're not rule breakers at all. Unlike the dominant personality type that love breaking rules, the organizer they are very limited, or should I rather say limited is unfair. They're rather restrictive in the way that they will never break the rules. So bring that across in your proposal. Talk about how working with your organization, how the systems work, how there's rules, how everything follows a process, a system, and everything is extremely predictable. They don't like surprises. So never ever surprise an organizer. Next, I'm a perfectionist and like things to be done right. They are very organized. You'll notice even their desk, their pens go from tallest to shortest. When you're delivering something, when you're delivering a proposal to an organizer, remember they are perfectionists and they want everything to be done just right. Next, they follow the rules, protocols, and guidelines. Make sure that you have in your proposal, make sure when you're talking about methods, systems, there's protocols, there's a detailed plan, checklist, outlines, guidelines, rules that they have to follow. When you can do that and you can introduce that to an organizer type personality, it becomes really, really simple to close sales with them. These are one of the easiest personality types to close sales with because they love rules so much. Next, they're very organized and responsible. So how can you utilize that? When you're actually dealing with an organizer, you're trying to sell them a product or a service. How can you connect with them? Your proposal must be very systematic. Your approach must be very organized. You must make sure that you specify rules and protocols and guidelines and deliver a very detailed outline plan that's very simple for them to follow. I never make snap decisions. Guys, like I said, they're very easy to sell to, but again, very loyal because they seldom, if ever, make snap decisions. They look at things from every single or every single perspective. Also an introverted type of person that also like their own space and their own time, and they thinkers. They think about things. What helps them make a decision is when they can see checklists and protocols and guidelines and systems and rules that they can follow. So think about all those things. How can you introduce all of those elements into your proposal, your engagement, your conversations that you actually have with the organizer type personality? I like step-by-step processes and systems. This just speaks to what I've been saying. You need to have as much step-by-step outlines, guidelines showing them exactly what they need to do. They hate surprises. I give credibility to those with degrees and status. Now, think about that. When you're dealing with somebody like that, if you do have a degree, introduce it. If you do have any other processes to gain credibility, things like testimonials, they love who are you. So make sure in your proposal you actually have an outline of who you are with all of the things that you've achieved, What gives you and your organization credibility to work with them? I avoid risk. Now think about that. When you've got a ground floor opportunity, you definitely don't approach an organizer with it. You approach a dominant, you prove that it can work, you build checklists, etc., and only then do you introduce it to an organizer. First would be, the way that I would go if I had a ground floor opportunity would be, I would introduce it at a dominant type personality, prove that it works. Once I've got some proof, I would then approach the socializer type personality, show them how the process works, show them what the benefits are, continue with that, then and only then would I approach an organizer type personality. And last of all, once I've really gone through all the proof, I've got all the knowledge, the data, the research, only then would I look at approaching a learner. They're not thrill seekers. Remember, how can you bring your proposal across that you eliminate, mitigate, or neutralize risk, and make sure that it's a simple and delivered in the most organized, systematic way so it's easy for them to understand? Ultimately, the organizer personality is all about systems, processes, protocols, guidelines. They want detailed plans. Once you can put all of that in place, working with organizers becomes really simple.